We're going to begin with this in just hours. The second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump gets underway. The U.S. Senate will decide whether Mr. Trump is guilty of inciting that deadly January 6th assault on the Capitol over a period of months, including a rally right before it happened. Now, this is the first time a president has been tried after leaving office.
House impeachment managers say Mr. Trump's conduct was, quote, the most grievous constitutional crime ever committed by a president. The former president's lawyers argue the Capitol assault was, quote, planned several days in advance of the rally and therefore had nothing to do with the president's speech on January 6th. That, of course, leaves aside comments made before January 6th. A CBS News poll out this morning shows a small majority of Americans, 56%, want Mr. Trump to be convicted.
The Senate trial is not expected to convict Mr. Trump, so what will the repercussions be for American political discourse? We asked CBS News senior political analyst and 60 Minutes correspondent John Dickerson to reflect on this unprecedented moment.
It should be novel enough that this week will be the first impeachment trial for a former president and that he is the first president to be impeached twice. But we're in fresh territory for other reasons. The trial is taking place at the scene of the crime, and those who sit in judgment are witnesses, victims, and enablers. These circumstances make Donald Trump's second impeachment about more than just his behavior. What is also at issue are the dangerous forces that fueled the insurrection, whether those forces can be extinguished, and whether some in politics want them to be. The trial is not just about the past, but about the health of our political future. Donald Trump lied when he said the election was stolen. Lack of proof, evidence to the contrary, and repeated court losses did not stop him from selling that lie to his supporters.
The mob was fed lies,
said Republican leader Mitch McConnell.
They were provoked by the president and other powerful people.
While the impeachment case is being presented, senators are not allowed to speak, and this echoes the silence of senators who, after the election, sat mute as the president told his lie. They did not speak up for the truth because they did not want to upset their voters or Donald Trump. They knew the election was not stolen. They knew there was a cost to this lie. Still, they were silent. Some gave comfort to the lie. Putting the political tribe over the public good poisons politics. The insurrection showed how, but not everyone took that lesson from January 6th. The trial will tell us who is still playing footsie with madness. When it is time to speak, senators can prove that they are not still captive to the big lie or the habits that fed it. They can affirm that Joe Biden did not steal the election and that it was wrong to say so, that their duty is to reality, not the comfort of their followers. Republicans argue this impeachment violates the Constitution. That's debatable. But there should be no debate about the violation when tribalism threatens a free and fair election. If it is still not possible to shed that tribalism, to embrace reason or facts because it might anger voters or the defendant, we will know that whatever the final vote, the boiler that blew on January 6th still has a pilot light burning.
Wow.
And John Dickerson joins us now. John, good morning. This trial is also unusual in that the victims are the jurors. The attack on the Capitol was also an attack on the representatives in the Capitol. So it's, in effect, personal. And how do you think that's likely to affect things?
Well, Anthony, I think it's going to charge the air with a lot more emotion than normally in impeachment trials. Often they can be quite abstract, talking about what constitutes a high crime and misdemeanor or what constitutes the rule of law. But in this case, as you mentioned, the people listening actually felt what happened. And also we have another thing, which is that some senators believe their colleagues, some of them, gave aid and comfort to the conspiracy, to the fantasy that led to the insurrection. And so as they talk, there may very well be some pointed language aimed at some of their colleagues.
But the former president, John, still maintains a very strong grip on the Republican Party. Our poll that we've referred to before shows that 71% say that of Republicans say that those in the party who vote to impeach or convict President Trump are disloyal. So how do you think that's affecting the Republican side of the aisle?
Well, this is fascinating, and this is, again, this is one of those things I was talking about, which is the larger forces in politics today that are distinct from the president, although, of course, he is at the center of the Republican Party, as his son and son-in-law said at his nomination or renomination. They said, this isn't the Republican Party, it's Donald Trump's party. So to the extent that this week is a full airing of his responsibility for the insurrection, that defines that party. And then you also have the figures you talked about. I was struck by 33% of Republicans who say they would support Donald Trump if he went and formed another party. You have a split, a gulf in the Republican Party between those who think what the president did was outrageous and the insurrection was outrageous, and those 33% who look at that and say 4 more years.
John, if the outcome is inevitable, is this trial still important?
It is important because it is a forum for members of the Senate and the House impeachment managers and the president's defense team to talk about issues that go beyond the insurrection. I mean, this insurrection hit at the center of American political life. The question of whether a free and fair election can stand. The question really about whether facts and reason are still a part of public conversation. And as they debate the issues, all of that stuff will come up. And this is also an opportunity for members of the Senate to stand up and define this age as something different than that horrible moment on January 6th.
We hope they take that opportunity. John Dickerson, thank you very much.